Welcome back, students. Today I'm going to start with the concluding part of Lesson 9, Weathering. My topic today is going to be biological weathering and weathering in different climatic regions. Let us understand the meaning of biological weathering. Biological weathering is the weathering that is caused by humans, animals, plants, and insects. It is also known as organic weathering. Biological weathering involves both physical disintegration and or chemical decomposition. This is because all biological matter is made up of oxygen and water, the two substances that set off reactions of minerals in rocks. Now let us understand how human beings cause biological weathering. Man converts physical landscape into cultural or man-made landscape. So, human beings have a dramatic effect on weathering. Even a simple walk in the woods has an impact on the soil and rocks that make up the path. By merely walking and running, human beings can crush rock and soil particles. Some human activities that cause weathering are: first we have construction. Moving and smashing of rocks for construction of buildings, roads, dams, bridges, forts, and other transportation systems. Next is mining. Massive mining projects involve stripping entire hillsides or making major changes to or removing rock from under the surface of the earth. Then we have agriculture. In addition to moving rocks to make farming possible, human beings also change the composition of the soil through fertilization and application of pesticides and herbicides. Burning of fossil fuels leads to acid rain, which causes chemical weathering of rocks. As you can see in the statue, how it has been affected by acid rain. Dumping of chemicals and wastes underground also promotes both physical and chemical weathering. Now let us understand how plants cause biological weathering. Plants assist in weathering by both mechanical and chemical means. Rocks have cracks in them. Rainwater is stored in these cracks. Roots of small plants enter into these cracks of the rock in search of water and to seek support. As the plants grow, the roots become thicker. You can see very clearly in these pictures how the thickening of the roots has caused the rock to split open. As a result, the cracks become wider and the rocks are disintegrated like this, as you can see in these pictures. The decay of plant matter and formation of humus results in the creation of different acids like humic acid. These organic acids help in the decomposition of rocks. Next we have biological weathering by animals. Burrowing animals such as rabbits, insects, etc. help in loosening the material below the earth's surface. They also bring large amount of material out onto the earth's surface. Animals can walk on rock or disturb it, causing landslides that scrape or smooth rock surfaces. The pounding hoofs of animals also cause rocks to disintegrate. Burrowing animals such as badgers and moles can break up rocks underground or bring it to the surface where it is exposed to other weathering forces. The burrowing action of animals allows greater percolation of rainwater and helps to disintegrate the rocks. When animals die, the decaying animals also provide many chemicals and acids for rock disintegration. In these two pictures you can see, here is a mole and this is a rabbit. They are burrowing animals. They burrow into the soil, and they expose the rocks to other forces of weathering, and also allow the rainwater to percolate down so that it can help in causing chemical weathering. Now let us understand weathering in different climatic regions. First, we begin with weathering in equatorial climate. In equatorial climates, humidity and temperature are constantly high. Here, chemical weathering is more active. Why? This is because water is needed for chemical reactions to take place. Moreover, chemical weathering increases as temperature increases. Chemical reactions proceed more rapidly at higher temperatures. Weathering in tropical climate. In tropical climates, there is a marked dry season and wet season. These climatic conditions lead to the formation of laterite soil. Laterite soil is formed as a result of atmospheric weathering of rocks under conditions of high rainfall and temperature with alternate wet and dry periods. It is formed by leaching due to tropical rains. Now let us understand what is meant by leaching. Leaching is the process in which the nutrients get percolated down below the soil due to heavy rainfall, thus leaving the topsoil infertile. Due to heavy rains, lime and silica are leached away, and aluminium compounds and iron oxide are left behind. As you can see in this picture, this is laterite soil, and you can see that the laterite soil is red in color due to the presence of iron oxide in it. Weathering in dry climates or deserts. In deserts, the diurnal range of temperature is very high. This has already been discussed with you when we did mechanical weathering. So in deserts, mechanical weathering is more prominent. The bare rocks get heated during the daytime, and consequently the outer layers of the rocks expand. At night, the temperature falls, resulting in the contraction of the expanded layers of rocks. As a result of this unequal and continuous expansion and contraction of rocks, cracks develop on the surface of the rocks. Then we come to weathering in mid-latitudes or temperate climates. In temperate climates, the temperature goes down below freezing point. Therefore, the most powerful agent of weathering here is frost action, which again has been discussed in detail when we did mechanical weathering. So in frost action, the water freezes in the cracks of rocks and causes weathering. But in limestone areas, chemical weathering operates on a large scale. This also has been discussed with you when we did carbonation in chemical weathering. Finally, we come to weathering in polar climates. In polar climates, the temperatures are extremely low. Therefore, physical weathering due to frost action is more prevalent. But recent studies have shown that the melting water of the polar regions contains more carbonic acid content because carbon dioxide is more soluble at low temperature than at high temperature. This suggests that chemical weathering is more active in polar regions. Here are two questions. Please find answers to these questions and we will discuss them in the interactive class. The first question is, why is biological weathering also known as organic weathering? And second question is, why is mechanical weathering also called physical weathering? I conclude the lesson here. In today's video, I discussed biological weathering and weathering in different climatic regions. Thank you.